November the 10th, 2008, our son was being born. We had no idea. His mom had abandoned him at the hospital. Tuesday, my sister went to work. She, just like any other day, she worked with his biological aunt. The aunt was very upset and hurt that her niece had had a baby and had abandoned him at the hospital, and proceeds to tell my sister the story. My sister tells her that my sister and her husband are very good people, and they've always wanted to adopt, you know, sort of consoling her and telling her that there's great people out there that would love him like their own. So she, as she was leaving, she asked for our number. My sister calls me at Walmart Tuesday afternoon, just shopping, you know, having me a day out by myself because both the kids were in school, and tells me the story. So my first reaction was very excited and just in awe of, wow, this would be a neat opportunity for Rob and I. So I call Rob and we talk about it, and we were both just like very touched by his story, you know, knowing that there's this child being, you know, abandoned with no mom. And I just said a prayer for him, and I prayed that God would put him where he needed to be, not necessarily in my interest, but in a good home. So Tuesday afternoon, we received a phone call from the family, and they wanted to come and meet with us. Wednesday, I went to the attorney's office, a friend of ours, and you know, got some legal advice, asked tons of questions, you know, make sure that we were, you know, what we were getting into, I guess. Wednesday afternoon, the aunt comes to our home, meets our family, asks tons of questions, you know, checks out our home. Thursday, the biological mother comes to Tupelo and signs her rights away.
I guess the greatest fear for me was, we've always talked about adopting, and we always felt it was as a calling of ours, but there's one thing to talk about it, and then boom, you get a phone call, and then you go to the lawyer's office and it's becoming a reality. So I guess the greatest fear for me was, would I be able to love someone that wasn't biologically mine? I wanted him to come in our lives, and I didn't want to treat him any different. You know, I wanted him to just know that our love, and that he was a Sevilla, and that he was just part of us. This is not how it will be. I would say it's brought just more love into our family. I would say that it's been just made us more aware to even how many children are out there that don't have good homes, that are being abandoned, and you know, we would be lying if we wouldn't say this has been a really tough year for us, but it's been worth it all. Did you not? What did you think about Caleb, though?
When we first found out,
I thought he was going to be a 5-year-old.
5-year-old?
Yes. I didn't even think he was going to happen.
But were you excited about being a big brother?
what's your favorite thing about being a big brother?
Well, it's just fun.
It's fun. Well, I think it goes back to a little bit of the, you know, making sure that our kids understood, because I mean, obviously they're, you know, they understand, but at the same time they're only 8 and 11, and so we didn't want them to think that we didn't have enough love to go around, you know, for them, and we knew a lot of attention would be focused on Caleb in the beginning and for a while because he is the baby. But I think some of the biggest challenges was that, and then other big challenge was how is everything going to fit together? How are we going to love him and show him that we love him, and then at the same time, you know, love the others? So I think that was a big challenge. Well, we just want to encourage everybody that watches this little video here that, you know, if God is calling on your heart or tugging on your heart and impressing on your heart, and maybe if you've been thinking about adoption, or even if you've never thought about it, but maybe this story today has made you more aware of it, that, you know, there's thousands and millions of children all across the world that are just needing to experience God's love, and we hope and pray that that this story will speak to you and that it'll minister to you, and that you'll take action, and that the story of Caleb has just, you know, really changed our lives, and I mean, for the good. I mean, we can't even explain it all just in this short little video in this short time, but it's just been an awesome feeling, and we just hope and pray that there will be others and other stories like Caleb's that God can use to further His kingdom.
And unsaved, we're crying for them, come back home.
Sometimes you never know what God's going to call for you to do. And, you know, there's a scripture that says to be ready in season and in out. And, you know, you just never know what your future holds. And just like we didn't either.
God hears you. And if you're talking about it, even when we talked about it, had no idea, and boom, within 5 days, here we are with this beautiful child in our lives. So God is an awesome God, and He hears the desires of your heart.
In the middle, I think.